What is a digital platform economy? To give it short, it's about providing access for your data. And that is something that has been happening for the last 10 years when it comes to mobile internet, that the platform economy is all about providing access to data. Why we talk so much about the digital platform economy as such, why we talk about the industrial internet or Internet of Things. One of the studies from UC Berkeley shows that 98% of the world's microprocessors are not yet connected to the internet. That's why people talk about the opportunity. It's not necessary that all those microprocessors are going to be connected, but most of them are. Where we stand in Finland when it comes to IoT, we had an opportunity at Etla to ask most of the Finnish companies, and we got something like 6,000 responses. And 24% of the Finnish companies said that they consider that IoT is important from their strategic perspective, and they are investing in it. However, 76% of the Finnish companies are still sleeping when it comes to IoT. They are not investing into it, and they are not considering it to be a strategic importance for the company. While we moved on in our questionnaire, we asked exactly the same question about the big data. How companies are actually, or how vital they consider that the big data is from their business perspective. And 16% of the Finnish companies said that they consider that the big data has a strategic importance for them and they are investing into it. Meaning that over 80% of the Finnish companies are still sleeping with all the investments when it comes to it. 24% of the current products and services that we buy from different companies are already digitalized. However, there is a long way for us to have a sort of a complete world when it comes to digitalization. The biggest obstacle for Finnish companies to move on with the digitalization is that they do not have their own resources. During the last 20 years, most of the Finnish companies in industries and service operations, they have been outsourcing their competencies when it comes to digitalization in general. And that is basically what is prohibiting them to move on with the fastest pace that some of the companies are doing in the US. What is then digital platform? As I said in the beginning, that digital platform economy is all about providing access to your ecosystem. And that's what the digital platforms are. Those are basically digital tools that we are providing a possibility to access through our platform to the market. Why this is not happening within the Finnish companies is that most of the ICT architectures or infrastructures there are in place in the Finnish companies are quite isolated island. And then basically the information asymmetries in data are occurring between the different participants. What was then happening within the sort of a platform economy? Somebody decided to move on and started gathering data and then started considering that as a vital asset for running their innovation ecosystem. There are a couple of tools that companies have been using for lowering the barriers of entry. So basically, companies have been introducing so-called boundary objects and resources. And this is basically the way that how they have been lowering the entry barriers of different participants to enter into their ecosystem. So not only by providing their business data to the different partners in the ecosystem, they have also provided the digital tools for these companies that they can start building all those innovations that has been created around these mobile internet ecosystems. So basically what we consider with the today's tools, that we have two paths for lowering these barriers. One is sort of a so-called a multi-layer contractual compatibility, and then that comes with the smart contracts, with the coded contracts that we have been capable of using when it comes to, for example, a blockchain technology. Then the second thing is other sort of a technological capabilities that they do offer. They are basically dictating that what type of tools their ecosystems are using for developing new type of applications. And they are providing APIs and they are providing scripts, again, making sort of the entry barrier for newcomers to even lower. Then another change that what has been happening when it comes to digital platform economy is that we have seen that the most of the business models related to digital platform economy comes through the market innovations and how you are basically playing out the different roles in those markets. So the concepts that we are talking about are that we have sort of a fixed role and switch role markets. We have two-sided and multi-sided markets. And when it comes to innovation networks in general, we talk about the multi-sided market contexts. Where we are heading in the future is that we do see that interoperability between different digital markets starts to play much bigger role. So meaning that you need to let your partners to access your e-commerce sites so that they can start offering their services directly to your customers, that basically you are no longer or anymore in control of. We have also seen that there are quite a few different type of platforms emerging, intermediating platforms. I tend to call Uber a one-item e-commerce store rather than a platform, because it's only doing one thing. We have integrating platforms where we are basically collecting the offering from the different participants and we offer it as a one. Then we have open platforms, meaning that we let consumers to decide that if they want to buy the products from us or directly from our suppliers. For example, that when I go into the Amazon web store today, I can make a choice. If I want to buy the product or the service from Amazon, or if I want to buy it directly from their suppliers. And they handle both of these two different type of transactions. Innovating platform is basically for me the only real platform that there is. Based on these sort of recent studies, that what we have seen is that the biggest profits in these different ecosystems are made when the platforms, when the data is made accessible for complementary third-party product services and an offering. So these are the most successful companies of today when it comes to value creation. Then, as a competence roadmap for the future for different companies, I would argue that to be able to build this data platform or your data infrastructure and architecture is sort of one of the first tasks that what you need to do in your companies. Then you can start understanding what the big data is all about, what the co-data, what the dynamic data that we need then to further build algorithms what that is all about. And then finally, when you have all these competencies in place, the data platform competencies, understanding related to big data, co-data, data analytics, algorithms, then you can really start going into the direction of machine learning and artificial intelligence. And then finally, basically what we see that where we are heading, and this is basically the experience that what we have from the last 3 years when we have been researching blockchain technology. In the future, we are capable of building sort of a decentralized consensus architectures and platforms where we basically share the control of these data platforms between the different participants in the world. So basically, we are heading into the world where we do not need sort of these centralized operators, but we can form sort of the platforms together with all the counterparts when it comes to our ecosystems.